Afternoon, everyone. My name is Ian Dean, owner and proprietor of Health and Happiness Personal Training. Before I start today's blog, I just want to congratulate 3 people who have completed challenges over the last weekend. First one is John Muller, a friend who lives out in Chicago. Successfully completed a marathon, completed the Berlin Marathon. Fantastic achievement. John, I would say, is not a natural runner, if I could be critical, if I could be critical. But he's a tremendously determined individual. Has, I believe, 2 dodgy knees, and has literally got through running, and has probably lost a lot of weight through that, which ultimately helps his knees. So well done. I think that's marathon number 5 now, and he's sort of slowly creeping his way around the world to do some sort of set piece, big city marathons. The second individual is my friend Fiona Duncan. Fiona completed the triathlon, the Guys and Thomas's triathlon, which was 10k cycle, 20k cycle, 10k, 5k run, 5k run, and then climbing 30 floors up and down Guys and Thomas's Hospital. She actually got a PB on her run, which is tremendous effort. And then the final one is my friend from West Ham, Brian Sims. Brian has smashed his 1 million steps for Diabetes UK one day early, so excellent work then. So I'm actually going to talk about today about progression. So progression is something where, well, it's it says what it does on the tin. It's how you actually progress. Now this is quite important because a lot of people that I meet go to the gym regularly and they plateau. And obviously plateauing is not great unless you're happy just ticking over. But a lot of people do want to, I don't know, get stronger, get quicker, lose weight, or complete a challenge. So the first thing is your body will get used to anything. After about, I don't know what it is, say 6 to 8 weeks, maybe even less, your body will actually get used to a way of training. So if you go into the gym for an hour and you do 40 minutes of cardio, 20 minutes of resistance activity, and say 10 minutes, so for an hour and 10 minutes of core activity 3 times a week, after 6 to 8 weeks, your body will get used to that, and you will plateau. So first thing to do is to mix up your training. Go and do some classes, go and use the functional area, do some HIIT. If you're normally doing light weights and higher reps, then maybe for a couple of weeks just do strength training, do maybe a 1 rep maximum, or do 5 reps. If you're used to doing basic sets, maybe you could do a couple of weeks of doing supersets, or do a tricep, or you can do a giant set. Obviously you've got HIIT as well, so you can do HIIT based sort of Tabata style training. If you're not particularly one for cardio and you just do weight training, maybe do a little bit more cardio. So just by mixing that up, you will then actually shock your body, and your body will go, "Ooh, what's going on here?" And then go back into your old routine, or mix and match. So I mentioned progress. So progression, when you're actually aiming for a challenge, is how you can actually increase. So I read a book when I was doing the Ironman by Think, Be Iron Fit, and I actually learned a lot about that progression. Rather unfortunately for me, I actually read that 2/3 to 3/4 through my training, so it wasn't as useful for me. But I remember my friend Dickie from university, I recommend that book to him. So he looks at things like training in certain heart zones. So he's very much on actually ensuring your heart rate is actually in the right sort of aerobic and anaerobic zones, whereas I was probably a little bit less in the right heart zone and just doing time. Now, related to progress, he basically says train over a 4-week cycle. So if you're going to do 6 months of training, you've got 6 4-week cycles, and he tries to get us to increase by 5% a week. So week 1, you've got a certain amount of training. Week 2 is 5% more. Week 3 is 5% more. So you've increased by 10% in that 3-week cycle. And then you have a slight drop-off week, a recovery week, where it might rein itself back in by, say, 2.5%, and then you go again, 5% increase, 5% increase, 5% increase, 15% this time, and then a 2.5% drop-off. And over that 6 4-weekly cycles, that is when you'll actually see that progression. And that could even just be things like increasing time. So if you're running for 100 minutes, 5% is 5 minutes. So next week run for 105 minutes. If you're lifting if you're lifting 100 kgs of bench press, next week try and lift 105. So that's quite important. And also intensity. If you're on level 10 on the cross trainer, maybe next week your aim should be to do resistance level 11. Because then you will actually start to see that progress. But it is vital to have that recovery week, because that week will then just ease the body back a bit, recharge the batteries, and then boom, go again. I suppose the advantage of doing that is that and this is where Fink looks at a 3-stage approach, I think it is. I think it's base fitness is the first stage. Then you've got improvement, and then you've got performance. And then there's a 4th stage, which is the taper. So if you're doing any event, maybe the last 5 to 10 days, just do a small taper off. Excuse me. And that shouldn't mean that you don't do anything. Just do some light stuff. So if you're doing a big swim, then the last week, just do like 3 or 4 sort of light swims, half hour in the pool. 1, it just gets your body prepared for it, but 2, by actually doing the light swims, you won't go mad at home because your body is conditioned, or your brain is conditioned for doing exercise. So today we've just been looking at how you can progress to avoid the plateau for people that are just looking for health benefits or weight loss or some general sort of strength gaining. Try and mix up your training, and if you are actually aiming for an event, once you've got your base level in, then start to increase 5% for 3 weeks, and then the 4th week have a slight drop off, say 2.5% off, and then go again. So 4 weekly cycles. So yeah, if you're training for 18 months for the marathon, and you can run 5k at the start, then you can actually work out your sort of weekly mileages and your long runs from that. And that is how most training plans, I think. So if you've got something out of Men's Fitness or Couch to 5k, they don't just suddenly say, right, don't do anything for 4 weeks and then run the 5k. They are sort of getting you through that. So this is some sort of logic behind that. So my name's Ian Dean, owner and proprietor of Health and Happiness. Like my page. Last thing to mention before I go back and watch the last 10 minutes of the Scotland match is I went over to West Ham yesterday to watch the West Ham ladies. Tremendous event. We had tremendous seats. Got luckily enough to meet Sir Trevor Brooking, which was a real highlight. But also it was lovely to see the families there, see young girls in full strips, to see fans basically supporting both teams. I thought both teams played exceptionally well. West Ham could have easily won that game, but unfortunately they missed a lot of chances and then got sucker punched on the counter attack. So yeah, it was brilliant, and I thought the standard of football was exceptional. All I would say is West Ham might need to sharpen up their shooting, would be my thing. So anyway, that's enough for me today. I'll be back on Friday. Not quite sure yet what I'll be doing, but hopefully it'll be something very informative. Have a lovely day. Bye.